Ferrari may have just done the one thing Charles Leclerc feared most. Not replacing him, not slowing him down, something much more dangerous. They may have started building the fastest version of the SF26 around Lewis Hamilton. And Barcelona could expose it, because this is not just about a setup change. It is about active aero software, energy deployment, late braking stability, high entry speed corners, and a car that may finally be giving Hamilton the exact feeling he needs to turn Ferrari from hopeful into dangerous. Leclerc spent years becoming the heart of Maranello, but Hamilton arrived with 7 world championships, 1 year of Ferrari experience, and a technical voice powerful enough to change how the car behaves before it even reaches the corner. That is why this leak matters. If Ferrari's Barcelona plan works, it will not just prove Hamilton has adapted to Ferrari. It may prove Ferrari is adapting to Hamilton. And if that happens, the internal battle changes completely. Because Leclerc can fight Hamilton on track. But can he fight a Ferrari that starts speaking Hamilton's language? Subscribe to the channel. The first thing to understand is that Ferrari's Barcelona plan is not really about one setup. It is about influence. Because when people hear the word setup, they often imagine something simple. A wing angle, a suspension tweak, a few clicks softer, a few clicks stiffer, a car adjusted between practice sessions until the driver feels happier. But in 2026, setup is not that simple anymore. The car is not just mechanical. It is aerodynamic, electrical, digital, and psychological all at once. The SF26 is a machine that changes its behavior through the lap. The wings can shift between low drag and high downforce. The power unit demands careful energy recovery and deployment. The driver has to manage grip, fuel, battery, tire life, and balance at the same time. So when Ferrari changes the way this car behaves, is not just changing lap time, is choosing a personality. And that is why Lewis Hamilton matters so much. Because Hamilton did not arrive at Ferrari as a driver who only won a faster car. He arrived with a method, a way of feeling a race, a way of managing tires, a way of understanding energy, a way of turning a difficult machine into something calm enough to attack. That is what made him so dangerous at Mercedes for so many years. He was not just quick over one lap. He could make a race come toward him. He could take a car that others were fighting and stretch its life over a stint. He could feel when to push, when to wait, when to save, when to strike. And in this new Formula One, that skill may be more valuable than ever. Because the 2026 regulations have made every driver think harder. The old drag reduction system is gone. The active aerodynamic system now changes how the car moves through the air. The motor generator unit heat is gone too, placing far more pressure on the motor generator unit kinetic. Electrical deployment is stronger. Energy recovery matters more. Efficiency is no longer just a nice advantage. Is survival. Hamilton understood that quickly. He spoke about the need to become the most efficient driver he had ever been, using every tool available to save fuel, recharge, deploy power, and use the grip. That sentence sounds calm, but inside Ferrari it may have carried huge weight, because it showed that Hamilton was not just trying to learn the SF26. He was trying to understand the whole new language of the car. And once Hamilton understands a car's language, he does not stay quiet. That is where the Barcelona shakedown becomes important. Ferrari ran behind closed doors at the Circuit de Catalunya, and from the outside, that alone made the test feel mysterious. Closed gates always create questions. What are they hiding? What are they testing? Why does this matter so much? But the real story was not only secrecy. It was what Ferrari was trying to learn. The SF26 was not a normal Ferrari. It represented a major departure from the team's recent design philosophy. A new double pushrod suspension layout at the front and rear. A more integrated packaging style influenced by ideas that had worked for Mercedes in previous eras. A power unit built for sustainable fuels and the new hybrid demands. And most importantly, active aero behavior that could define the car's whole performance window. This is where the setup plan becomes much bigger than a rumor. Because active aero is not just a moving wing. It changes how the driver feels the car. On a straight, the car wants to cut through the air with less resistance. In a corner, it wants grip, stability, and downforce. The transition between those states has to happen quickly and predictably. If it works, the car feels powerful. If it fails, the driver feels like the balance is moving underneath him at exactly the wrong moment. And that is where Hamilton's style could become Ferrari's advantage. Hamilton has always been devastating when he can trust the car under late braking. He wants stability when he attacks the corner entry. He wants confidence that the rear will not punish him when he carries speed deep into the corner. He wants a car that lets him manage the rotation without destroying the tires. That kind of style fits a car that must balance efficiency with control. And if Ferrari's software can make the SF26 stable during aero transitions, Hamilton becomes more than a driver using the system. He becomes the driver helping define it. Reports from a Barcelona test suggested Hamilton's telemetry showed near-perfect correlation with Ferrari's simulator models. That matters because teams do not just want speed in testing. They want truth. They want to know that what they simulated in the factory matches what happens on track. If the simulator says the car should behave one way, and Hamilton's real laps confirm it, Ferrari can trust the development direction. That is powerful. But the more sensitive part is what reportedly happened next. Hamilton was not merely adapting to existing software parameters. He was said to be influencing how the active aero software behaved, even cycling through multiple aero modes within individual corners. That is a massive clue, because if a driver is helping shape the timing and behavior of the aero system, then the car's fastest version may begin to reflect his instincts. Not just his feedback, his instincts. The moments where he wants stability. The moments where he wants the car to release drag. The moments where he needs downforce back. The way he wants the car to breathe through a corner. And that is where Charles Leclerc enters the danger zone. Because Leclerc's relationship with Ferrari is not shallow. He has been the emotional center of the team for years. He has carried their hopes. He has suffered their mistakes. He has delivered brilliant qualifying laps. He has been the driver Ferrari fans imagined as the one who would finally bring the title back. Leclerc is not a secondary character. He is Ferrari's own creation. And that is why Hamilton's growing influence is so delicate. Because Ferrari is not choosing between one good driver and one great driver. He is choosing between two different ways to make a car fast. Leclerc often thrives when the car has rotation. He can live with a front end that feels alive. He can create magic in the middle of a corner when the car gives him the freedom to place it exactly where he wants. Hamilton, on the other hand, can be devastating with late braking stability, high entry speed, and car that protects its tires over a long stint. Both styles can win, but they do not always ask for the same car. That is the hidden conflict behind Ferrari's Barcelona plan. If the SF26 is being tuned toward Hamilton's strengths, Leclerc may not lose support publicly. But he could lose something more important. The feeling that the car is naturally his. And in Formula One, that feeling matters. Because drivers do not only race with their hands and feet, they race with trust. If Leclerc turns into a corner, and the car does not rotate the way he expects, he can still be fast because he is elite. But he has to work harder. If Hamilton turns into the same corner, and the car gives him the stability he wants, he can build the lap more naturally. That difference may be tiny. 1/10, half a tenth, a little less tire stress, a slightly cleaner exit. But over a race distance, tiny differences become strategy. They become tire life. They become confidence. They become points. That is why this is not just about Hamilton feeling comfortable. It is about Ferrari deciding which driver's comfort creates the fastest race car. And Barcelona is the perfect place for that question, because Barcelona exposes balance. The long corners punish sliding. The loaded sections punish weak aerodynamic stability. The middle sector tells you whether the driver trusts the car through continuous changes of direction. The track does not reward chaos. It rewards harmony. If Ferrari has built a Hamilton-friendly setup, Barcelona should show it. Not necessarily with a dramatic pole position. Maybe with cleaner long runs. Maybe with stronger tire life. Maybe with Hamilton sounding calm on the radio while Leclerc asks for more rotation. Maybe with the car looking stable under braking, precise on entry, and gentle enough on the rear tires to keep pace late in the stint. Those signs matter more than one headline lap, because Hamilton's biggest threat to Leclerc may not be Saturday speed. It may be Sunday control, and Ferrari knows that. In 2025, Hamilton's first year at Ferrari, Leclerc still held a clear qualifying advantage. He was faster over one lap and looked like the natural Ferrari reference. But by early 2026, the gap had narrowed. Leclerc still held a modest qualifying edge in some reports, but Hamilton's race pace had improved. In certain races, he had even shown stronger long-run performance. That is exactly the kind of data that changes internal conversations. Qualifying belongs to the stopwatch. Race pace belongs to the championship. And Ferrari has spent too many years being fast without finishing the job. That is why Hamilton's profile is so tempting. He represents completion. He represents the final 10% Ferrari has often been missing. The ability to manage a season, not just produce brilliant moments. The ability to turn performance into control. The ability to make a team think like champions again. That does not mean Leclerc lacks those qualities. But Hamilton has already proven them at the highest possible level. 7 times. And when 7-time champion says this is how the car needs to behave, even Ferrari has to listen. This is where the power shift begins. Not through politics, through usefulness. If Hamilton's feedback helps Ferrari understand the active aero system faster, he becomes useful. If his telemetry confirms the simulator more cleanly, he becomes useful. If his long-run pace gives Ferrari a better way to fight Mercedes, he becomes useful. And in Formula One, usefulness becomes influence. Influence becomes direction. Direction becomes priority, even when no one uses that word. That is the uncomfortable truth for Leclerc. He may still be loved. He may still be trusted. He may still be incredibly fast. But if Hamilton becomes the driver who helps Ferrari unlock the SF26, then the team's future starts to tilt. Not because Ferrari wants to betray Leclerc, because Ferrari wants to win. And winning teams follow the path that produces answers. Right now, Hamilton is trying to become that answer. But there is another layer, and it makes the story even more dangerous. The active aero regulations themselves are still a gray area in the minds of many people in the paddock. The rules allow the wings to shift between fixed positions with strict limits on transition time. Wet conditions created even more discussion, and the partial active aero mode became a major talking point after the Barcelona test. The governing body looked closely at Ferrari's aggressive interpretation, especially around software-driven aero changes. No penalty came. No formal protest followed. But the message was clear. Ferrari is operating near the edge. And when a team operates near the edge, the driver who understands that edge becomes extremely valuable.